Hi, I'm Meadow Roxanne, and I'm here with Willie of Wilshire, and he's going to be telling us about his experience in music and growing up in LA, about his car, the car we're in right now. So let's get started. So let's start with the name Willie of Wilshire. Where does it come from?
Yeah, so the name actually comes from one of my homies. He's a dope ass rapper. His name's C Formula. And so for a while, man, I was trying to brainstorm like a name that was more unique. Because before I just went by the name Big Will. So then he just came up, man. Like he was like, "Where'd you grow up? Like what street was it? Like kind of where you grew up by?" And I was like, "Oh, kind of like by Wilshire." And he was like, "Oh man, you know what? You should just be Willie of Wilshire, man. Like, and you could just be Wow for short. So every time you're rapping, you drop in the ad-libs, just say Wow, Wow." So ever since he came out with that name, I was like, man, that's dope. So I just been running with that name. And for me, like then I started. It just means a lot more. I started thinking of it as that's like my kingdom, you know, like
Yeah.
Like Willie of the Shire, Willie of Wilshire, like that's like my shire, my kingdom, and then just kind of seeing my growth going from like a peasant to like a king. So this kind of has that theme around it.
Are you born and raised LA?
Yeah, born and raised in LA. My mom's from Guatemala and my dad from El Salvador. They came to this country. Basically, there was a lot of civil war going on in Central America at the time, Guatemala, El Salvador. So my mom and dad came here. They met here, and then had me and my brother here. So born and raised in LA for sure.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like being a first generation LA? What was it like growing up? What was your experience? And did you have to do things like translate for your parents and help them through their difficulties, like coming to America?
I mean, growing up here, being first generation, for immigrant parents, it was it's pretty challenging. Has its challenges. I feel like I walked like kind of like a gray area. Like I would always go back to Guatemala every summer during vacation. My mom would take me and my brother back.
Yeah.
But when I'm out there, like I'll be speaking Spanish, but I had like an American accent. So they would call me gringo, like, "Oh, you're American, you're gringo." And I was like, man, like so I wasn't like Guatemalan enough to be Guatemalan. But when I would come back here to the United States, to LA, I felt like I was treated like a second-class citizen. Just because of my ethnicity, like growing up where I did, we had a lot of police brutality, racism, just a poverty, oppression, like. I always felt like I wasn't American enough here. So I was kind of like in the middle, like man, am I Central American? Or am I American? Like what is it? So kind of growing up was kind of tough. Trying to find like just the identity, being okay with my identity. And then for sure, like you mentioned, just my parents didn't really, they were still learning English. They didn't really know the rules of the society here. So simple things like just going to school. I had to when I would bring back my report card from school, I had to like translate it like to my mom, like, "Oh, this is what an A means, this is what that means." Just things like that I would have to translate to them. And then I think just being a first generation is just, you're kind of paving the way.
Yeah, for sure. Getting into the music, how long have you been rapping?
So I've been rapping, I mean, like most of my life. I would say I started probably rapping in middle school. I remember like my bus driver would always play hip hop on the school bus on the commute to school and back. And so every time at the time, whenever Eminem song would come out, it was a song "Where the Real Slim Shady Please Stand Up," and when that song would play like on the school bus, like I would get up and I would like rap to the lyrics, kind of low performance. Then after a while, like all the kids on the school bus knew, like, oh, every time that song came out, they're like, "Willie, Willie, Willie," right? They would kind of turn around and expect me to rap the song. So that's kind of how it started. Like,
yeah.
It's for fun, and I started rapping, and then I was like, man, this is pretty fun. So I started like just writing poetry, trying to write my own rhymes. So it started since middle school.
How long have you been performing in front of a crowd?
Yeah, so I would say my first performance was probably in high school, like I formed a hip hop club, hip hop fundamentals club, with some friends, and so we would DJ like freestyle battles, like during like nutrition and lunch. So that was my first time being in front of a crowd,
Yeah.
like just like rapping or battling. And then the first time I actually performed like my own like songs I had written was in college. I went to Cal State LA, and I was part of the Hip Hop Congress, like the chapter there.
Nice.
So we would host events like every now and then. So we had all these rappers that would come and perform, and so yeah, I would perform at those shows. So that was like the first time like kind of performing my own songs in front of a crowd. So that was pretty dope.
Who's your biggest influence in rap? And then who is on repeat in your car, in your lowrider? Who are you cruising around to?
Yeah, so it's hard to choose like a major inspiration. But growing up, I would say for sure, I would listen a lot to Wu-Tang. I loved all the different all the different styles that they had. It was just so cool just to study each different style and how they would all come together and just create these songs. And for sure over here on this side, I mean Tupac for sure, then Biggie, and then growing up in downtown, I was a big fan of Psycho Realm, like just neighborhood legends. So I would listen to them a lot for sure. And yeah, repeat. I mean, I'm always honestly, I'm just listening to all kinds of different music, different genres. I just love studying like how like artists compose like their music, you know.
Yeah.
So it could be any genre. I just love how like seeing where they drop the hooks, the choruses, the bridges, the melodies, and then I like to incorporate that when I bring it into my own like rapping or creating my own music.
What would you go back in time and tell yourself in life and in music?
Yeah, so probably the same for both. I would if I could go back and talk to my younger self, I would tell myself just to believe in yourself. I feel like growing up, I had a lot of I struggled a lot with like doubts or like limiting beliefs. And, you know, just like growing up where I came from, it's just like coming from an impoverished like neighborhood. It's like I had a lot of programming, like how would I describe it? A lot of lack mentality, a lot of like you're not good enough, being treated like a second class citizen, like I had said before. I feel like, you know, like it ingrains these beliefs in your subconscious, like, oh, you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, like so it would translate over to my rapping, like, oh man, am I good enough? Like, am I worthy enough of living this dream, you know? So I will go back to my younger self and tell them, yeah, man, like, believe in yourself. Of course you could do it. If it's in your heart, you have a desire to do it, you could imagine it, hold it in your thoughts and your mind. There's a way to it, to bring it to fruition. And just in general, as I would say, in any goal you're trying to achieve in life, like, you just got to believe in yourself, like, regardless of your circumstances, your background, where you came from, that's step one. It's just believing in yourself that you can accomplish it. Yeah.
So, In My Lowrider is your most popular song on Spotify. So, tell us about the lowrider we're in right now. What's the year, make, and model? And what inspired you to get into the culture?
Yeah, so this is a 1984 Buick Regal. And yeah, I mean, I've always wanted a lowrider since I was a kid. My best friend growing up, my neighbor, his dad had 2 lowriders. And so sometimes when his dad was off to work, like, he'll be like, oh, Willie, you want to come over and see like my dad's lowrider? So we'd kind of sneak over to the parking lot, and he will lift the car covers up. And he'd be like, man, I got, like, just be careful because we got to put everything back exactly how we found it, because if not, my dad will notice and he'll get mad at me, you know?
Yeah.
So so we will be careful. He'll lift it up, and I'll be like, man, those are like these are some dope ass cars. Like, one day I want to have a car like this. But kind of going back how we talked before, like just having doubts and limiting beliefs. I think growing up, I was like, oh man, like, I want a car like that, but it's probably too expensive. I don't know if I could have it, you know, like,
Yeah.
all these thoughts again, doubts again, that really it's your own mind, like you get in your own way. So again, it wasn't until I was like, you know, started believing in myself more and more growing up, and I was like, you know what, like, set that goal, like, I do want, like, I'm gonna get that lowrider, man. And once I set that intention, like everything just unfolded easy, like really, like it was effortlessly how to get it. Like first, like my the same childhood friend, like he hit me up to do a photo shoot, and then I go to a photo shoot, and we're shooting with one of his friends. He had a Buick Regal, and I said, "Man, this is dope. Like, how much you pay for it? You know, getting some info." And I was like, "All right, cool, man. I could probably do that, you know." And then and then I started looking for Regals on OfferUp, you know, and somebody had just posted this Regal, like it was like 30 minutes ago on OfferUp. I was like, oh shit, it just recently posted. I hit the dude up, and he's like, yeah man, come through and check it out. And and I went and I saw, like, check out this Regal. I mean, it was a rust bucket, you know. But I was like, man, cool, it's gonna be work in progress. So I bought it, and then little by little I've been fixing it up. Actually, my other homie had a plug in Tijuana. He's like, yo, man, just take it over there. They'll paint it nice. They'll do the interior. So everything got fixed, you know?
Yeah.
Because everything, like I said, it was a bucket. So little by little, I've been fixing it up. And so the story behind this car, like, you know, it has multiple meanings. Like, again, like believing in yourself, setting that a goal, following through.
Yeah. And what's her name?
Yeah, so I named the car Esperanza, which means hope. Yeah. And yeah, so you guys can't see, but outside it's painted green, so it symbolizes like abundance, growth. Plus, it was also my sister's favorite color. Yeah, I got it right here. And so I wanted to paint it green, just to, you know, to kind of like honor her memory, and also there's always hope in life, like just to keep that positive mindset going forward. And at the time, I was also going through like tough challenges, like personally. And I was investing in myself, like personal development, taking seminars, meditating, like learning just my own programming, like why I do things that I do, like getting rid of my limiting beliefs, changing those into empowering beliefs, things that will help me, you know, like personally. Yeah. So that in correlation with the car, like as I fixed the car, I was also working on myself. So, you know, it's kind of like just that metaphor, like of just transformation, you know? Yeah, taking something that's maybe been beat down or discarded and making it more beautiful than it was. Yeah.
Well, it looks really good, and I absolutely love the green paint job, which they'll see in the clips of the B-roll for sure. How does LA impact your style of rapping?
Yeah, I would say growing up here, just listening to artists from the West Coast, I feel that's kind of inspired the way that I rap. And just the culture around here, when I rap my songs, I just write like whatever I'm going through in life. So it could be really anything that inspires me. So just growing here, the culture, the things that I go through in life, all that is infused in my music. So that's how just living in LA, growing up in LA, has inspired my music.
So speaking from experience, singing or rapping is kind of like opening up your diary and then just saying or singing it to an entire crowd, like a room full of strangers. So how did you get over that, and how did you get over the stage fright, if you had any?
So for me, just something that resonated with me was what my sister said. Before she passed away from cancer, she told me, Willie, just remember, when you write music, you want to be authentic, just write from your heart. You know, you can't go wrong doing that. You know, just be yourself.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I had been rapping just like what I thought people would want to hear, like chains and cars and all that.
Yeah. And
after she told me that, it just kind of resonated and sunk in. I was like, yeah, I just gotta. It's kind of like a diary, you know. So
yeah.
So from there, like, I would, like, whenever I would go through things in life, breakups or just challenges, frustrations, it was kind of like my therapy, and I would put it all in my music, and I wasn't scared anymore to, like, just share that part of me, like, with other people, like that personal part. So yeah, so I would say, like, that's kind of one of the ways that I would just, like, express myself, like, just through music. And stage fright, like, I mean, I still get nervous, like, performing.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't changed. It's more anxiety, like I want to make sure like my performance is flawless, like I remember my lyrics, you know. So I just make sure it's just all practice. So I make sure that I'm confident before I go on stage. That helps diminish the nervousness. So that's what helps me. And then just meditating, and then telling myself affirmations like you got this, like you're more than good enough. All those things that I've learned, all these different tools, you know. So I'll go through all those things, visualizing myself like doing the performance correctly or perfectly as I want it. And just telling myself, hey, even if you mess up, it's okay. Like, you know, like you got this. You learn from it. It's always a win as long as you learn. Yeah.
What's some advice you would give to somebody who's starting out in music?
Yeah. So the advice would be the advice I would give myself as a kid. Like, yo, you just gotta believe in yourself. You know, that's key. Like, if you want to set out to do music, like, don't doubt yourself. Like, believe in yourself. Perfect your craft. Just keep working on it. Be a student. You know, that keep learning all the time. Like, there's always something new you can learn when it comes to music. It's endless. Just keep upgrading, leveling up, and just keep showing up. Like, that's like 90% of anything. You just gotta show up, and then the rest, it's gonna come to you if you believe in yourself and you put in the work. You're dedicated to something. All that practice is gonna pay off when opportunities come. You know, you'll be ready for them. You know, the right people will show up, the right opportunities will come your way, and you know, the right team will be assembled around you, and then you're ready. From all the work you've been putting in, you'll be able to take off. So but it all starts again with just believing in yourself and having absolute certainty that that's what you want to do. Like and just going full force towards it, towards that goal.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you picture LA?
I mean, for me, it's just the energy. Like, there's no city like LA. So if I'm traveling around the world and I'm coming back, I'm thinking about just like the weather, the palm trees, just the culture here, the melting pot here. I mean, for me, it's home because I grew up here. So so maybe I'm biased in that way, but it's just like, for me, it just feels like coming home. You know, like, it doesn't matter where I'm at around the world. When I come back, that's what I think. It's home. Yeah.
What's your favorite food spot in LA?
Yeah. So we actually hit this up right now. It was the Avenue 26 tacos. One of my favorite ones. It's super cheap, delicious tacos. You get all the toppings you want. They give you free potatoes, free parking in LA, so that's a bonus too. And they stay open late. So
that's key, that it's open late and free parking.
Free parking. So you can't go wrong with that spot. Like, getting off at late shift, or you've been partying, getting out the bar, like, that's a spot to hit up. So
for sure.
And tacos always hit the spot. So I'm like, just can't go wrong with that
can't
place.
Can't go wrong with tacos.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's your Guatemalan spot?
I actually like this one spot called, I think, Line Express. It's on 6th Street by the Food for Less. It's really good. You guys are ever around that area, you guys got to check it out for sure. Again, it's affordable, like $12 or so. You could get a nice plate. Last time I was there, I got like some chicken with some green sauce, some rice, black beans, and you get an horchata too for $12. You get to sit down and eat at a restaurant. I mean,
that's a deal.
Yeah, that's a good deal for sure. And handmade tortillas. So,
what's something in life that you've had to overcome that you're willing to share?
So kind of how we had kind of spoken a little bit about it earlier in the earlier questions. I would say, I'm not going to say like a specific challenge, but I would say the challenge for me was more internal, you know, because things will always happen to you on the outside, like challenges, whatever it is. Again, breakups, maybe losing your job, or finances, health-wise, anything. Things are going to, losing other people, things are always going to come your way. And the main denominator in all that is yourself, like how you respond to those things, you know?
For sure.
So for me, the biggest challenge was like understanding why I do what I do, or like my own programming, like my own default programming. Like, if this happens, like, why do I act this way? Why do I react this way? And then learning how to deconstruct that, getting rid of those limiting beliefs or those reactions that don't serve me anymore.
Yeah.
And then once I got rid of those, like, installing kind of like new software that's good for me, that's empowering for me. So I would say that was my biggest challenge was myself, like understanding, why sabotage things, or like why I would react in negative ways.
Yeah.
And then changing that into having a positive mindset and cultivating that going forward. And I seen, like, for me, that's been a big plus in my life. It's been a blessing. So even through challenges, like, sometimes those are just, for me, I seen them now as gifts in disguise, like they'll help you like grow.
Yeah.
And just so I would say that's one of my biggest challenges, was just facing myself and growing as a person from it.
Yeah, for sure. And then the green color, I think previously you'd mentioned to me, also means like growth and opportunity for you, right? Like the color of the car that you have, the Buick.
Yeah. So every time I drive it, it reminds me, like, of that growth. Like anything in life, you just want to keep growing, becoming a better version of yourself. And so for me, it's just, this is a reminder when I'm driving it, like, to stay in that mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking from experience, once you start making these moves to better your life for yourself, I know that I've ran into some negativity and some people who had a lot of self-doubt. If you experienced this too, how did you overcome it?
So for me to overcome it was, like, again, like, kind of investing in yourself and knowing yourself, like, first, like, having that foundation. Like, it wasn't until I believed in myself that when other people would say, oh, you can't do this, or you're not good enough, or like, that's trash or garbage, like, it just kind of bounces off of you, because you're like, oh no, like, I know, like, I have confidence in myself, belief in myself, like I know my own worth. So it's just really not letting other people shake you, or take you off your own horse, like,
For sure.
like, so it's just, again, it goes back to your belief in yourself. Like, if that's solid, that foundation is solid, doesn't matter what people say. It could be challenging, but you just go back to your own belief in yourself, and you just keep moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. Is there anything you want your listeners to know about you?
And I guess about me would be, I guess just personally, I just like seeing the best in others as well. Like I just want to inspire, like, other people, like, to follow their dreams and their goals. So I guess that would be the theme of the interview, is just believing in yourself. So I want to tell everybody, just like, whatever it is that you want to do in life, you want to be an artist, start a business, graduate, take that vacation you want, just write a novel, whatever you want to do, like, be an actor, actress, like, whatever it is, an athlete, a gold medalist, like, you just got to believe in yourself, again, first and foremost. So I just want to inspire people to always, no matter what, believe in yourself, believe in your goal. If that desire is in your heart, it's there for a reason. And so don't doubt it. Don't doubt yourself that you could achieve it. And just go and put in the hard work towards that goal. But keep striving for it, and keep your mindset strong. Always believing that you could achieve it. So
That's a good way to put it, that if the desire is there for a reason. I like that.
I believe it is.
Okay, so where can we find your music?
So you guys could just Google my name, Willie of Wilshire. I'm up on all the platforms, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes. Just put my name in. You can follow me on Instagram at Rapper Big Will. I would say easiest is just Google my name, Willie of Wilshire. It's going to pop up, and all my links will be there for sure.
All right, cool. I hope they check you out. It's got some good shit on there.
For sure.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me.
It's an honor. Thank you for taking the time as well.
Yeah, of course. All right, and I guess that's it.
All right, cool. Peace.